Hey beautiful mum, sometimes speaking up for your child takes courage. And if you've ever driven home from school drop-off crying because your child finds it hard to fit in and you feel helpless to make it better, I want you to know I understand. That was me for so many years. That awful ache of watching your child struggle, the helplessness of knowing your child is being misunderstood, but not yet knowing how to explain what is really going on for them. And that is why this week I want to talk about courage and advocacy. Because when my Pete started school, I didn't understand enough about why he behaved differently to the other children to advocate for him. I knew something was different. I knew in my heart it wasn't just bad behaviour, but I didn't know how to explain it clearly. And because I couldn't explain it, he was often misunderstood. And what I know now is that our children often need us to help translate what their behaviour is actually saying, because they don't have the words, awareness or confidence to explain it themselves. Some adults don't see what is beneath their behaviour, and because of that, our child's behaviour can be easily misread. Refusal can be seen as defiance, avoidance can be seen as laziness, big emotions as bad behaviour, shutdown as not caring. Often underneath their behaviour there's a child who is overwhelmed, anxious, confused, overloaded, exhausted, or trying desperately to cope in a world that does not make sense to them yet. And this is why advocacy matters. When we can help teachers, caregivers, family members or support people understand what may be sitting underneath the behaviour, they are more likely to offer the right support instead of responding with blame, frustration or shame. When a child is constantly treated as though they are choosing to be difficult, it can start to damage the way they see themselves. And this is why understanding what is underneath our child's behaviour matters so much. The more we understand, the more courage we have to advocate. And advocacy does not have to start with a big meeting or a perfectly worded plan. You can start small with noticing your child's behaviour patterns. Start paying attention to what happens before the behaviour, what makes it worse and what helps when your child feels safe again. Write down what helps your child in hard moments. Then when those hard moments happen with another caregiver, you can begin building the confidence to say, I know this looks like refusal, but I think my child may be overwhelmed. Or, I am still learning, but I know my child needs more support. Or, this is what helps at home. Could we try something similar here? You don't have to have all the answers before you speak up and start helping other people see more than just the behaviour. That's why this week I've created a simple guide called Understanding My Child. It's a guide you can fill in and share with adults who care for your child. It helps you gather little pieces of information that matter. Your child's strengths, what motivates them, what can be hard for them, the early signs that they are starting to struggle, what works well at home, what to avoid, and what helps your child when moving towards shutdown, meltdown, or distress. You can use it as a starting point for a school meeting, a daycare conversation, or even a hard conversation with grandparents and other family members. Because sometimes one page of information can help another adult pause, understand your child more clearly, and look underneath the behaviour. And sometimes that is where advocacy begins. And look, beautiful mum, be kind to yourself. We cannot advocate for what we don't understand. And I believe that every small step matters when you're learning to understand your child's behaviour. You are not failing. Your child isn't broken. And sometimes being your child's advocate simply means being brave enough to say, please look underneath the behaviour. My child is trying to tell us something.